Good morning or afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. My name's Leigh. We're going to do a 60-minute Vinyasa level 2. So basically around the sacral chakra, energetically it'll be the sacral chakra. So just a little bit of movement around the hips, or probably quite a lot of movement around the hips, because it's my favorite thing. So we'll warm you into some hip movements. And please just do whatever it is that you need to do to support yourself. If anything doesn't feel right for you, of course, skip it. You don't have to do everything. And yeah, enjoy yourself. So we're going to start in a variation on deer pose, where I'd like you to take your shin parallel to the front of your mat, and see if you can have a right angle in your ankle there, so that your toes curl back towards your shin. So shin parallel, so right shin parallel to the front of your mat. And then take your other leg, your left leg, out to the side so that your left knee is perpendicular to your body. And you're going to lift yourself up and turn to the right and have your fingertips beside you on the right. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like on the other side, so that you can see what my other leg is doing. But it's your right shin that's parallel to the front of your mat. Your left thigh bone perpendicular to your body as you face the front of the mat. And then lift yourself up. Turn to the right, and you can just either rest your hands onto the floor there, or you could take your elbows down onto the floor. Cool. So right shin parallel, left thigh bone perpendicular. Lift yourself up, turn to the right. Stay on your hands or rest down onto your elbows. It can be just a really soft, let everything go shape here. The only sort of yang element to this could be just that you're holding yourself up. Otherwise, it's quite a yin shape, just letting your legs be soft. Relax the muscles around your hips. If you would like to add a little more onto this, find a draw in through your belly button, cinch in through your waist, so hugging through the sides of your body, like you want to lift your rib cage up away from your hips. So when I say cinch in through your waist, that action of lifting your rib cage away from your hips or lengthening the sides of your body gives you that hugging action around your sides, the cinch in. Find that quality to your torso, and then see if you can find that turn of your chest towards the floor and a gentle turn of your belly button towards the left in this case, or towards keeping your belly button facing towards the front wall. And then you might feel some more muscles turn on around the upper parts of your legs, the left leg in particular, as you press down through your left knee there, lengthening out through the sides of your body, turning your chest towards the floor, shoulders away from your ears. Stay for a couple more breaths. Just take one more round. You can soften your face. Great. Then bring your hands back in. Cross your left shin in front of your right shin. Pause in Sukhasana, or a simple seat, for a moment. You can let your hands rest onto your knees. Move your hips around as you need. So when we're talking about sacral chakra, the quality or the element associated with sacral chakra is water. So anytime you get an opportunity to just move your hips around, feel free to do that. Tapping into that element of water. Soft but strong. Fluid. Just take another breath or two here. You could find stillness. And then keep your left shin parallel to the front of your mat. And your right thigh bone perpendicular to your body as you face the front of your mat. Cool. Fingertips are down onto the floor, lift up, cinch in through your waist, so rib cage away from your hips. And then turn to the left. Hands can stay on the floor, or you could rest your elbows down onto the floor. And then just find to start with at least that softening effect. You're just letting your legs relax, letting your shoulders relax, your face. Just pouring your torso out of your legs for a couple of slow breaths. And then you have the option to add on some yang by extending out through the center of your chest, lifting your ribcage away from your hips a little more. A gentle twist, chest turns towards the floor, and belly button stays pointing towards the front of your mat. You let your shoulders move away from your ears. You find that roll of your heart forward. Just for one more round of breath. Noticing any muscles that might be working around the top of your right leg in particular here. And then bring yourself slowly back up. Your left shin is still parallel to the front of your mat. And you're going to take your right shin and cross it in front of your left shin for Sukhasana. Let your hands rest onto your knees or into your lap. You can even close your eyes here. If you'd like to find that gentle movement, feel free. Otherwise, just be still and notice your hips, the base of your torso, that weight down into the floor, the support that the floor, the earth gives you to allow you to lift and lengthen up out of the crown of your head. Bring your hands to your heart. Have your eyes closed or a soft gaze to your fingertips. Take a long inhale breath. Open your mouth, let it go. Namaste. And then open your eyes. Roll over your shins so that you can come onto all fours. And then move through a few cat-cows, gripping the mat. Chest and sit bones lift as you breathe in, kind of rounding through your back as you breathe out. Add on any side-to-side movements that you'd like. Noticing how your hips move around in particular, lifting your sit bones as you lift your chest, and dropping your sit bones or moving your sit bones towards the back of your thighs as you breathe out. You're moving your pelvic bowl. And if you want to add on those circular movements through your hips, one way and then the other. And then come back to a neutral spine. Curl your toes under, lift to downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet, grip into the floor. So you can find this push of the floor away that moves your shoulders up around your ears, and then wrap your outer arms down or roll your biceps towards the front of your mat to give you some space for your neck. And nice bend into your knees here can help you lengthen through your low back. And as you draw in belly button to spine, you've got that strength and support through your low back as you stay for 2 more slow rounds of breath. And then just gently walk your way all the way up to the front of your mat. Take a halfway lift. You can have your fingertips on the floor or onto your shins as you breathe in. And then fold yourself forward as you breathe out. Take another halfway lift, lengthening, lifting your ribcage away from your hips. Fold yourself forward, breathe out. One more like that, a halfway lift to pause. Shoulders away from your ears. Find that drawing of your belly button away from the floor. That action of lifting your belly button might even feel like you're drawing your sit bones a little more towards the back of your thighs. So you really engage through your hamstrings here. See if you can keep the length you created in your spine as you bring your hands to your hips and then elbows towards the sky. Keep hugging front ribs to back ribs, so pull in through the front of your body. And then slowly push into your heels to lift you up to standing, using the back of your legs to lift you up. Reach your arms up to the sky as you breathe in. Dive all the way back to the earth as you breathe out. Take your halfway lift in your inhale. Step back, high plank as you exhale. Push down into the floor, find a roll of your heart forward. And then place your knees softly down onto the mat. And a turn of your heart forward so that you're long from your knees to the center of your chest. You've got that wrapping through your waist. Bend your elbows just to low plank chaturanga, where shoulders don't need to be any lower than your elbows. Hug your hands in, hug your elbows in, broaden your collarbones. Then go all the way down to the floor. Take a cobra by pressing the tops of your feet, shoulder blades hug together. And then downward facing dog, hips move up and back as you breathe out. A slow, steady inhale breath. Stay to empty. Lengthening through the sides of your body as you push into the floor. And that softness in your knees that lets you extend out through your spine. Take one more big inhale breath. Stay to let it all go. And then slowly walk back up to the front of your mat to take your halfway lift, spine long. Fold in half as you breathe out. Press into your feet to reach up to the sky. Fold forward as you empty. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step back high to low plank. Please use your knees to support your shoulders. Taking a cobra or up dog, press your feet to float your heart. And then downward facing dog, press the floor away from you. 3 slow breaths. If you can find that space around your shoulders, a gentle lift of your sit bones perhaps, with that drawing of your waist, so belly button to spine. Taking one more inhale. And an emptying long exhale. Step, walk or float lightly to the front of your mat for your halfway lift. Fold yourself in half. Halfway, breathe in. Step back high to low plank. Your knees are a nice way to support your shoulders. Find cobra or up dog by pushing into your feet. And then downward facing dog, let it all go. Pause for a long breath in. Steady grip into the floor as you breathe out. Another lengthening inhale breath. And that softening, emptying exhale. One more round fills you up. Empty. Step, walk or float to the front of your mat. Take a halfway lift as you arrive there. And then fold yourself in half. Reach all the way up to the sky by pushing down into your heels. Bring your hands to your heart as you breathe out. Pause for one breath in. Stay to soften shoulders, face, cheeks. And reach your arms back up to the sky on your inhale. Dive all the way to the earth over soft knees. Lift halfway, extend your spine. Move through your vinyasa or go straight to downward facing dog. Cobra or up dog if you're in your flow. And then downward facing dog is where we'll meet. Taking one big inhale, press the floor away. Find that wrap of your outer arms, a broadness across your shoulders. Take your right leg up and back. Find length out through your right toes. Bring your knee to your chest, step it through for low lunge. And drop your back knee to the floor. And feel free to pad your back knee with a mat or a towel if you're not on a soft surface. Reach your arms up towards the sky. Please keep your back toes curled under for this little variation. We're going to move on from here. Finding this wrap of your outer arms forward, giving yourself space for your neck. Can you draw your front ribs in towards your back ribs so that you're one long line from the crown of your head down through your left knee? And then take your left hand forward and your right hand back for a twist. Similar to what I was talking about at the beginning, your belly button stays pointing towards the front wall. Maybe even you've got this action of turning your belly button to the left a little as your chest turns to the right to turn on more muscles, not only through your obliques, the front of your torso, but all the way up to the spine at the back of your torso. Stay for another breath in. Stay for your whole breath out. As you inhale, reach your arms to the sky, curl your back toes under if they're not already, and lift your back knee away from the floor for crescent lunge. Can you pull your right thigh bone into your hip socket? Find the gentle bend into your back knee that allows you strength and length all the way up through the front of your left hip. Pressing down through your back toes, and you reach up out through your fingertips. And then open slowly to warrior two. Feel free to move your feet around. Find yourself a steady base. Heel to heel alignment might be nice so that you can find this space to broaden your right knee out to the right as you press down firmly through your right big toe mound and the two edges of your heels, your left big toe or your right little toe mound as well. Take a big breath in. Let your shoulders relax as you breathe out. Reverse your warrior right arm to the sky. Big breath in. Hands back to the mat. Go through your flow or go straight to downward facing dog. Cobra or up dog on your inhale. And downward facing dog as you empty. Pause for a breath in. Stay for a breath out. Take your left leg to the sky on your breath in. Step it through for low lunge as you exhale. And then drop your back knee. Feel free to move your feet around to find a steady base. Reaching your arms up towards the sky. So you can keep your back toes curled under. See if you can then squeeze into your inner thighs, drawing the left thigh bone back, hugging through your legs like your legs are a pair of scissors. And then as you lift your rib cage away from your hips, you'll find that cinch-in effect. Twist right hand forward, left hand back. Belly button to the right, chest to the left. Taking a little counter twist like you're wringing out a sponge, the sponge being your torso. Ooh. Active from your feet all the way up through to the crown of your head. You can find that quality of water, that softness with the strength. Stay for another breath in. Stay for your whole breath out. As you reach back up to the sky, back toes are curled under so you can lift your back knee away from the floor. And then hug in through your inner thighs. Lift and lengthen out of your waist. Draw into your front ribs so you get this strength and length through the front and the back of your body. One more big breath to fill you up. Open out to warrior two. Good. So fingertip to fingertip long, like you want to touch either wall, and then hug your shoulder blades together to give you some more space across your chest. Drishtis over your front fingertips. Pause for another inhale. Stay for your whole emptying exhale. Reverse as you flip your palm, your left arm reaches to the sky. And then hands to the floor. Your flow could be straight to downward facing dog. Cobra or up dog if you're in your Vinyasa. And then downward facing dog is where we'll meet. For one big breath in. And a slow breath out. Right leg lifts up and back. Watch your foot plants. Knee to your chest, step it through for low lunge. Back knee to the floor, reach your arms to the sky, Anjane. Twist belly button, hugs in towards your spine. Reach back up to the sky, lifting your back knee away from the floor, crescent lunge. Open to warrior two. Reverse on your inhale, right arm reaches. Hands back to the floor for chaturanga or straight to down dog. Then cobra or up dog. And then downward facing dog as you empty. Left leg lifts. Step back. Back knee to the floor for Anjane on your inhale. Take your time. Twist right hand forward, left hand back. As you reach to the sky, lift your back knee away from the floor. Open out to warrior two. Reverse on your inhale. Hands back to the floor, chaturanga. You could do a double chaturanga. You could go straight to downward facing dog. And then right leg to the sky. Step it through low lunge. Anjane, reach up. Twist the left hand forward, right hand back. Crescent lunge on your inhale. Warrior two as your exhale. Reverse. Your flow. Big inhale to fill you up. Long emptying exhale breath. Left leg to the sky. Step. Anjane. Twist. Crescent inhale. Warrior two. Reverse breath in. And then your flow. And cobra or up dog if you're in your vinyasa. Downward facing dog is where we'll meet. Take just one big breath in. And a slow, steady breath out. Step, float, or walk to the front of your mat. Lift halfway as you get there. And then fold yourself in half. Reach all the way up to the sky as you breathe in. Bring your hands to your heart as you breathe out. Great. Pause for a breath or two. Shoulders relaxed, face soft. Take one more round of breath. And then reach back up to the sky on your inhale. Dive all the way to the earth as you exhale. Lengthen your heart forward, breath in. Step your left foot back to low lunge as you breathe up. Back knee to the floor, reach your arms to the sky for your Anjane. Cool, and then pause there. You can have your back toes curled under or the top of your back foot on the floor, whatever suits you. Plug your right thigh bone into your hip. Lift your rib cage up away from your hips. So you can find that hugging the front ribs to back ribs. Cool, you're gonna take your left hand to your left hip. Reach up out of both sides of your waist and lean over to the left. So you're leaning away from your right hip pulls down, right fingertips reach up and over. Can you find that drawing through your belly button that's supporting the strength and length through your low back? You might look forward, you might look down, or you could look up underneath your right arm. Staying, scissoring into your legs for one more breath in. Stay for your whole breath out. And then reach both arms up to the sky again. Notice the length you created through the right side of your body. Bring your hands to your heart center as you breathe out. As you lean forward, keep the length you've created through both sides. And then twist to the right. So left elbow ends up either on your thigh or to the outside of your thigh. Whatever allows you to lean back into your shoulders and peel your chest open. You've still got all this length through the right side of your body. Right hip pulls down and back. Right armpit forward. Same with your left. You're extending the left side of your body towards the front wall as you peel open through your chest. And then option here to curl your back toes under and lift your back knee away from the floor. If you revolve crescent lunge, if you're opening your arms, your left hand can be outside your front foot or inside your front foot. Peel your right hip back, search the center of your chest forward, stay for a big breath in. Stay for your whole emptying exhale. Push into your right heel as you reach up to the sky for crescent lunge. Interlace your hands behind your back. As you draw your fist down and away from you, hug your shoulder blades together at the back of your heart. Notice my head doesn't go back. I'm not necessarily in much of a back bend here. I'm just hugging my shoulder blades together, drawing front ribs to back ribs. Of course, if you'd like more of a back bend, roll your chest towards the sky. Maybe even look up towards the front corner of the room. Hugging into your waist, stay for a big breath in. Stay for your whole breath out. You're going to keep pushing down into your right heel. Notice how strong your back leg is. Keep it that strong as you lean forward like arrowhead, and then lift your back toes off the floor for Dekasana. So if you can keep the bind, amazing. If the bind releases, amazing. Can you keep rolling down through your left outer hip, a gentle bend into your right knee, supported by the strength of that right hamstring, your right glute here. Press out through your left toes. Stay for a big breath in. Option. Release your hands to standing split or start to tip your torso forward for drinking bird. Where your left toes reach up towards the sky. Left toes reach up towards the sky. Heart reaches down towards your right toes. Stay for one more big breath. Standing splits is where we're going to meet. Just for one more big inhale, peel your right hip back and then fold forward over your front leg. Nice. Give your knees a little shake around, give your hips a little movement, some water. Lift and lengthen halfway as you breathe in. Fold in half as you breathe out. Reach all the way up to the sky by pushing down into your feet. And bring your hands to your heart as you empty. Pause there for a couple of breaths. Little movement through your knees. Move into that watery quality for your hips. So feel free to do that. And then just be still for a moment. Check in. One more round of breath. Reach your arms back to the sky. Inhale. Dive over soft knees as you exhale. Halfway lift as you breath in. Step your right foot back to your low lunge as you breathe out. Back knee to the floor for Anjane. Feel free to uncurl your back toes if you'd like to. Reaching your arms towards the sky. And just pause here for a moment. Left knee tends to want to move forward. Can you plug your left thigh bone back into your hip or move your left shin away from the front of your mat? And then as you hug in through the sides of your waist, lift up out of your waist. Right hand is going to come this time to your right hip. Then you're going to lift up and lean away from your bent leg. Cool, so that you're leaning over to the right. Imagine you're leaning over a big beach ball here, lifting up through both sides of your body. You could peel your chest open a little more. Keep hugging in through your waist. And then reach both your arms back to the sky on your inhale. Hands to your heart as you exhale. Lean forward, breath in, hips move back a little. Right elbow can rest onto your left thigh or to the outside of your right thigh, left thigh. And then wherever you are, can you keep the length you created through that left side of your body? So like you want to take your left armpit away from your left hip. Option to stay with your knee on the floor or curl your back toes under. Lift your back knee away from the mat. Make your back leg strong. Hug in through your inner thighs. You should feel your right glute working here as you peel your left chest open. And hug your belly button away from your left thigh. Feel free to open your arms. Have your right fingertips on the floor on the inside or outside of your front foot. You could even use a block or a book or something underneath your right hand for extra support. Heart searches forward away from your left hip. Stay for one more big breath in. Stay for your whole breath out. Push into your left heel for crescent lunge. Great. And then interlace your hands behind your back. A nice bend into your back knee. Allows you to length through your low back so you can feel that with your fists running down the back of your body if you need to. Squeeze into your inner thighs, move your fists away from the back of your body. Search up through the center of your heart, proud through your chest. Cool, if you'd like more of a back bend, keep wrapping into your waist. Imagine again you're leaning back over a big beach ball. Great. And then slowly lean forward like an arrowhead and peel your back toes off, keeping your right foot as active as it was when it was on the floor. Bending into your left knee can help you to wrap this right outer hip down so you're squaring off through the back of your hips. Option to keep the bind for drinking bird or find standing splits at any time by taking your fingertips towards the floor. Can you find a softness through the back of your neck and your shoulders? Keep extending out through your right toes as you lift from the inside seam of your right leg just for one more breath in. Hands to the floor, fold forward as you breathe out. And then move your feet around, to move your knees around, to move your hips around, to move your spine around, to move your head around. Water. And then hug into your belly, just really slowly roll up to standing. So drawing into your waist so you're supporting muscles that support your lower back. Take as many breaths as you need to so that your shoulders and your head come up last. And then give those a little roll around. Tadasana. You can have your hands at your heart, or you could let your palms face forward with your arms resting down beside you. See if again here you can move that quality of water into your knees, into your hips, into all of your joints, so that you're still strong, you're still standing steady, but there's a softness that allows you to be here. As you just take 2 more slow rounds of breath. And we're going to take a tree pose. So left foot's on the floor, right foot inside edge of your standing leg. Or could be a little kickstand. It could be foot to your shin or foot to your thigh. As you press down into your left foot, through your left thigh bone, plug into your hip socket. Spread your toes of your left foot even to engage more muscles in your feet. Hands at your heart. There's the option to take another side stretch if you'd like. Right forearm rests onto your right thigh. Left arm towards the sky. Lean over towards the right. Gaze wherever is comfortable on your neck. So it might be just straight forward, might be underneath your arm, might be towards your right knee. And keep the shape of your legs as you reach your arms towards the sky. This one's a good one to practice when no one's around. Cool. So hug into your belly, both arms reach up towards the sky. But that strength through your legs. Core strength is really important for this. So hug front ribs to back ribs, hug belly button to spine. So you can start to float your left heel away from the floor. Maybe it's just a millimeter away from the floor. You're just playing around with lifting and lowering your left heel to see how much hang time you can get. It's almost like a reverse handstand. You're lifting your left heel away from the floor. As you wrap into your waist, you might even look up towards the ceiling for one more breath. And then both feet back down to the mat. Give it a little shake out. My favorite. Right foot on the floor, left foot inside edge of your standing leg. Your tree pose. Start by just moving your attention from your toes, spreading through your feet, up your legs. As you push down into your right foot, your right thigh bone should plug in a little more. You get more activity through this right outer hip. Stay here, or take an arm variation that you'd like, or left hand rests onto your left thigh, or left forearm onto your left thigh rather. Right arm reaches up, and as you lift your ribcage away from your hips for that cinch-in effect, lean over towards the left. Just gazing towards one spot, and if you're moving your gaze, you're just slowly letting it move around the room. So you're not really focusing on anything in particular. And then keep your legs as they are as you reach your arms back up towards the sky. Wrap into your waist, so that cinch-in effect, drawing through your belly as you reach up through your arms. You might even look up towards the ceiling already. We're looking to just gently float right heel away from the floor. See if you can get a little more hang time each time as you lift your right heel. Maybe as you're hugging through your belly, you stay for a breath or two, lifting up your right heel away from the floor just for one more big breath in, and slowly bring both feet down. Give a nice little shake out. Great. Reach your arms to the sky, inhale. Dive all the way to the earth as you exhale. Take your halfway lift on your breath in. Go through your flow. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. So high to low plank or just straight there. Take your right leg to the sky as you inhale. Knee to your chest, step it through for low lunge as you breathe out. And then push down into your feet so that you lift up through the middle of your hips, keeping that bend into your right knee. Heart searches forward. Shoulder blades away from your ears. Pause for a big inhale breath. And then hips up and back to whatever degree your body allows. So you can keep a big bend into your right knee. If you've got a couple of books or boxes or blocks here, feel free to use those. Peeling your right hip back as you search your heart towards your toes. Stay for a breath in. Stay for your whole breath out. Bend into your front knee back to low lunge as you inhale. And then plant your back heel down for skater's pose. So that high skandasana shape where you're bending into your left knee. Cool. Lean over a little towards your left. Your right toes can lift up away from the floor. Right heel presses down. And squeeze in through your heels. Squeeze in through your inner thighs. Take any variations with your arms that you'd like. Stay for a big breath in. Stay for your whole emptying exhale. You're going to turn towards the back of your mat to find crescent lunge on your left foot. Left foot is the one that's, left leg's the one that's bent. And you're facing in the opposite direction to what we've been doing. Hugging through your inner thighs. Stay for an inhale breath. Stay to soften shoulders and face as you exhale. Reach up to the sky, inhale. And then open out to warrior two. So left knee is the front leg in warrior two. Shoulders soften away from your ears. Find your drishti out over your front fingertips. And then with all the strength that you're experiencing here, can you find a little softness, a little of that quality of water? Maybe even moving your hips, your butt around a little. Cool. And then as you straighten your left leg, reach your arms to the sky, turn your toes to face in the same direction, over towards the right, pretty much. And then turn towards the front of your mat again for warrior two, bending into your right knee. And if all of this didn't make sense on the first side, it's going to make sense on the second side. You're all good. Big inhale breath to fill up. Stay, let it all go. Flip your palm, reverse your warrior. And then bring your hands to the mat for low lunge. So just lift your back knee. Keep your knee lifted away from the floor. Move your right foot over to the right a little. And then take your hands to the inside of your right foot. Squidgy your left foot back a lot as you let your chest and your hips drop down. Option to stay here, hands onto the floor or something else underneath your hands if you need more support, more of a lift. You can have your back knee on the floor to modify this one. I've got a couple more options for you if you'd like to. Let your chest drop down a little further. You might need to move your left foot back even more. Slide your right shoulder in underneath your right knee and tent your fingertips either side of your mat. Then there's this pull back of your right hip and your right shin as you search your heart forward. So you've got this anchor point here, right shoulder pressing into the back of your right shin. You can see if you can find that squeeze into your inner thighs that lifts your hips up away from the floor, lifting your back heel even. You can float your hands, you can bind your arms behind your back, stay for a big breath in, stay for your whole breath out. One more big inhale breath. Bring your hands to the mat as you exhale. Step back to high plank, breathe in. Forward and down to low plank, please use your knees as you need. Find a cobra or up dog, shoulder blades onto the back of your rib cage. And then downward facing dog or child's pose for about 3 really slow breaths. If you'd like to just take a seat for meditation, Vinyasa, feel free. So child's pose, Vinyasa, or down dog, your options, just to re-center. Maybe even remind yourself of that quality of water. Shoulders, face, neck, strong, and yet fluid, able to move. Not stuck, not rigid, not impenetrable, but open. Perhaps even a little vulnerable. Letting ourselves move into that state of vulnerability, especially when we've experienced such a need to close down and to close ourselves off. Just a little bit of softness to balance out all of that rigidity. One more round of breath. And then back to downward facing dog if you're not there already. Taking a big breath in. Stay for your whole breath out. Left leg to the sky. Step it through for low lunge. Roll your heart forward and that hugging of your inner thighs as you lift your chest. And then move your hips up and back to a pyramid variation. So whatever suits you. A big bend into your left knee. A softening. Boxes, books, something underneath your hands. It starts with B, preferably. Doesn't matter what it starts with. And then let your heart melt towards your toes. Take about 2 more slow breaths. And then bend into your front knee for your low lunge. Plant your back heel down, skater's pose, high skandasana. Cool. So you're just bending your right knee. There's this broadening of your right knee that lets your right knee and your right toes point in a similar direction. Your left toes could be on the floor. Same deal though, knees and toes in a similar direction. You might lift your left toes away from the floor. Even a little bend into your left knee can help you to turn on your left quadricep a little more, hugging through your heels. Find arm variations that suit you, whatever feels nice for another breath in. Stay for your whole breath out. Turn towards the back of your mat. Move your feet around to create a steady base for yourself for crescent lunge. Plugging your right thigh bone in, draw up from the base of your torso through your sacral center, that softness that you can find in your hips to reach you up and out through your fingertips. Just another breath or 2 here. Strong through your right heel, strong through your right glute. And then open out to warrior 2. Cool. Take your time to move yourself around. Often we can find that rigidity in our practice where we feel like we know what we have to do, we do it all the time, but sometimes letting a little bit of softness in to explore something else, just a nice way to see what else is here. And it can feel vulnerable, and that's okay. Vulnerability needs strength. Vulnerability means that you're courageous. I think we've all experienced what courage feels like. because we're all still here. Flip your palm reverse, right arm to the sky. Cool. Oh no, don't. Sorry. Come back to warrior two. Straighten both your legs, turn your toes towards the side of your mat, and then find warrior two into your left leg. So left knee is bent, left fingertips reaching forward, right fingertips reaching back. Can you lengthen a little more through the inside seam of your left leg? Stay for another breath in. Stay for your whole breath out. Then reverse your warrior. Left arm reaches up. Bring your hands to the mat for your low lunge, lifting your back heel. Move your left foot over to the left so you can bring your hands to the inside of your front foot. Palms down onto the floor or whatever your B word is, block, book or box. Move your right foot back a little. Have your knee on the floor if you'd like to. Cool. Stay here, or as you move your left shoulder right in underneath your left knee, squeeze your left knee in towards your shoulder, pull your left shin back, reach your heart forward. And then you might float your hands, keep hugging in through your feet and your legs to lift your hips a little. Draw your heart forward, stay for another breath. Empty it away. One more big inhale breath. Bring your hands back down to the floor as you breathe out. Step back to high plank, inhale. Forward and down to low plank as you exhale. Find your cobra or up dog with a big breath in, and then downward facing dog or child's pose, or sit back onto your heels as you breathe out. Cool. Cool. And at least 3 really slow breaths. See if you can let the back of your heart soften, so shoulders relax. You find that quality of water that just lets something in. A new way of being, a new way of thinking, something that allows you just to grow even just a tiny bit in this moment. And then knees to the floor, move yourself onto all fours so that you can lie all the way down onto your front. Let your arms rest beside you, turn your head to one side, or use your hands as a pillow. And then just pause, let your hips gently rock from side to side. And then just be still for a moment. Just take one more round of breath. And then forehead to the floor. Reach your arms either down beside you with your palms facing the floor, or you could interlace your hands behind your back. Press down through the tops of your feet so that not only your big toenail, but also your little toenail are pressing down into the floor. And then see if you can hug in through your inner ankles, your malleolus, that bone on the inside edge of your ankle. Hugs in towards each other without touching, so that you're pressing down through your toes and your heels and your toes in one line. And then as you hug up through your belly button, start to lift your forehead, lift your chest, shoulder blades hug together at the back of your body. Keep pressing firmly into your big toe nail and your little toenail on each foot. Or start to lift your feet away from the floor. So you can keep that paralleling of your toenails to the floor so that you're lifting through the inside seam of your legs, using more of the muscles around your hips to extend out of your hips as you stay for 3, for 2. Take one more big breath in, and then gently come back down. Let your arms rest beside you, or use your head as a pillow. Really slowly rock your hips or find stillness. Okay. Bring your hands beside your ribs. Press down again into the tops of your feet so that all of your toenails are on the floor. You're hugging in through your inner ankles. Lift up either to cobra or to upward facing dog. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. Take a big inhale breath. Stay to empty. Step, walk, or float through your hands to land onto your seat and lie down onto your back. Yeah. And then just really gently rock your knees. More for your hips than for your legs, really. So that you're just letting your knees move from side to side so that you can feel a gentle movement of the back of your hips across your mat, like water sloshing from one side to the other. And just slow that down. Pause for breath. Bring your feet nice and close to your hips so that your ankles are below your knees. And as you press your arms down into the floor, your palms down into the floor, lift your hips for a bridge pose. If you've got one of those supports, you could place it underneath the back of your hips for a supported bridge. Arms can stay beside you or interlace your hands so that you can really peel your chest open by hugging your deltoids, your upper outer shoulder, your upper outer arms underneath you, shoulder blades hug together. Can you draw your sit bones towards the back of your thighs here as you push down into your heels and hug into your waist? And just stay for another breath or two. And then slowly come back down. Give everything a gentle slosh from side to side. Okay. Then with your left foot on the floor, press your right ankle to the outside of your left thigh for your figure four shape. Curl your right toes back towards your shin. As your right knee moves away from you, you might notice your left hip lifts up, so see if you can keep your left hip pressing down, just extend through the inside seam of your right leg. Stay there, or grab a hold of the back of your left thigh or the front of your left shin to draw your left knee towards you as your right knee moves away from you. You can soften your shoulders, your face, your neck. And just take 2 more slow breaths. Keep the cross of your legs as you place your left foot back down onto the floor. And then this is going to be a little different to what I'd normally teach you, or you might have heard before. Keep the cross of your legs, move your left foot over to the right. And then as you take your left knee down to the floor, let your right knee fall open towards the right. So left knee opens to the left, right knee opens to the right. And then you're in this supine version of double pigeon, so that your right shin should end up stacked on top of your left shin. And your right knee might be up quite high, in which case you might like one of those supports, your block, your book, or your box underneath your right thigh. Or if you want to find some more action, some more yang in this one, draw in through your waist first of all, so you're supported through your belly, through your low back. And then rather than trying to push your knee down towards the floor, imagine you want to lengthen your right knee away from you. Toes are curled back towards your shin. And then notice if everything's a little hard like a rock. See if you can bring that quality of water. Water so strong that it cuts through rock. Often over a long period of time. One of the qualities of water you might consider to be patience. You find that as you just stay for another breath or two. And then as you bring the knees back in, uncross your legs and place your feet on the floor, a gentle rock. Cross your left ankle to the outside of your right thigh. Back of your right hip stays on the floor as you let your left knee lengthen away from you. Even practicing here, that lengthening of your knee towards the ceiling rather than away from you. So you get this lengthening quality from the back of your hips all the way out through the inside seam of your left knee. Stay with this, or grab the back of your right thigh or the front of your right shin to draw your right knee towards you as your left knee lengthens away from you. And if the gentle rock feels nice, bring in that quality of water, of softness with strength. And just take another breath or two to let the back of your hips sink, to let your shoulders relax, face relax. One more slow breath. And then keep the cross of your legs as you place your right foot back down onto the floor. Your right foot is going to toe heel across to the left side of your mat. Then you're going to drop your right knee to the right and your left knee over to the left. So you end up in this supine double pigeon shape. Feel free to move your hips around. The left knee might be up quite high. Something underneath your left thigh could be a nice way to support you there. If you're working towards getting the left knee down towards the floor, if it doesn't cause pain in your left hip to do so, imagine you're lengthening your left knee away from you. As you lift up through the front of your hips, you're drawing your left knee away from the front of your hips. Water so strong that it could hold up ships. So soft, so malleable, so fluid that it can run through your fingertips. One more round of breath. And then slowly bring your knees back up. Place your feet back down onto the floor. Pause there for a few moments. Feet might, knees might have a gentle rock from side to side. Cool. And if there's anything you need to finish your practice with, a gentle twist might be just knees falling over to one side for a few breaths, falling over to the other side for a few breaths. Whenever you've done with those final movements that you need for your body, Shavasana is waiting for you. Please stay as long as you'd like to in Shavasana, at least 10 really slow breaths. right here in Shavasana is where I'm going to leave you. Please stay a little longer. Please enjoy a little bit of rest. I look forward to seeing you soon. And